How's it going, folks? Taylor Wachowski here. In today's video, I want to go over a quick explanation about rates of reinforcement and having high reinforcement when training your dog. So today we're just going to act like Adonis is a reactive dog. Okay? Good boy. We're going to pretend he's a reactive dog and we are across the street from another dog. Say he sees another dog or a cat or a bike or whatever it is that he happens to be reacting to. So say he's across the street and he's just staring at them. Now he's not barking or reacting because he's behind threshold. That's where we want to start. We want to keep him behind threshold so we can still have his mind, so we can still reinforce him for the behavior we want. If you are barking and lunging, that's reinforcing that behavior. So we need to move him back as far as it takes to keep him in an environment where he can still listen and keep his mind. Adonis. Good boy. We're going to act like he is staring at something, I guess over here. Okay, so we're gonna act like something is way off over here across the street that he's looking at, and I happen to get his attention. Adonis. Good boy. Okay. So he can look away if he wants. As soon as he looks back at me, gives me some eye contact, I want a reward. Looks away, looks back. Good boy. This is even kind of a slower rate of reinforcement. If I really wanted a fast rate of reinforcement, we could do it for every half second that he is looking away from whatever it is. If he was really reactive, then I can continue to reward him. Then I can slow the rate of reinforcement or ask for more behavior from him. So say I'm going to reward him for eye contact or for longer periods of eye contact. So every time he looks at me, he's going to get that click, he's going to get that reward. You don't have to use a clicker, you can use your voice. Yes. Yes. So he looked over there. There's really nothing over there. It's just a window. He's just looking over there. And he happened to look back at me. So that would be an example of if your dog is looking away and they look back at you, and when they look back at you, they continue to look at you, you want to continue to reinforce. So right now he's just getting reinforced for looking at me, good boy, for making eye contact with me, for staying in this general area. And then once, whether that other dog, oopsies, freebie, whether that other dog leaves or you're ready to move on with your walk, this was just a little moment that you had a training session with where you're able to reinforce your dog. Over time, good boy, okay. Over time, you can slow the rate of reinforcement for your dog. So say they get better about looking at you more comfortably, they can look at the distraction, the stimulus, they can look back at you, you can reward for that. That you can add more seconds or you can add more time in between the time when they're looking at you versus when they're looking at the little distraction over here. You can even allow them to have more time looking at the distraction. In the beginning, you may, good boy, in the beginning you may want to not let them look at the distraction for more than a half a second. So they look at it, you make a kissing noise, you make some kind of a distraction, they look at you, click and reward. And then as long as they're looking at you, click and reward again, and click and reward again. Basically every second or every half second, depending on how distracting the area is. You don't want to be very distracting in the area, you want to set your dog up for success. If you're just out on your regular walk, it's kind of hard to control the environment. Everybody needs to go out for a walk. So do your best to set your dog up to be the most, successful by going out at a certain time when there's not too many people out. But if you do come across a person, try to get your dog behind threshold by crossing the street, going down into their block, and then turn around, let your dog see that distraction. Let them learn the distraction is nothing scary, nothing that's gonna hurt them. The stimulus is just that. It's just a person, a bicycle, another dog. And get your dog's attention as soon as you can get their attention, just once, and you may not be able to get it right away, so you need to move back, physically move away from that distraction, from that stimulus, whatever is going to make the dog reactive, until you can get your dog's attention. When you can get their attention, that's when you want to click and start rewarding very rapidly. So just like I did with Adonis, they look at the stimulus, you get their attention, they look at you, click and reward, they sit there, click and reward, they look away. Wait a couple of seconds, see if they're going to look back at you on their own. If after 3 or 4 seconds they don't look, you make a kissing noise, get their attention again, they look back, click and reward. And you want to continue to click and reward until they, they continue to stare at you. When they can stare at you for a couple more seconds, then you can wait. Maybe instead of every half second you reward, you go to a second or a second and a half or 2 seconds. You count to 1, 2, reward, 1, 2, reward. Then you let them kind of check out the stimulus. We want them to be able to check out whatever it is that is making them reactive, because we want them to learn it's nothing bad. I don't want my dog to just learn to just ignore it and never realize what it is. I want them to be able to take in this information and realize that, oh, this is just a bicycle. This happens in life. That's just the way I train. I want my dogs to be able to, they can put up with the stimulus, they can investigate, they can check it out, they can sniff it, they can watch it, it can do whatever, and it's not going to hurt them. This is just a way of how I desensitize my animals. You have to start very slow, work very slowly, work at your dog's pace. And although you're working slowly, you're rewarding very quickly. You're working slowly, but you're rewarding rapidly. So I hope this helps you guys out. If I'm ever referring to a high rate of reinforcement, or I'm rapidly rewarding a dog, this is what I mean. I'm marking and rewarding for any behavior that I want, and I want to reward very quickly. The reason why we reward very quickly is because we don't want the dog to be reinforced by something else. They would be reinforced by looking at something else and maybe barking. So we want to keep them from reinforcing other behaviors we don't want. We reinforce very quickly because we say, hey, this is the right thing. This is the right thing. You're doing the right thing. Keep doing this. Keep doing this. And we do that. We have to do it kind of quickly in the beginning because they've been so reinforced that they look at us and they don't get anything, so it means nothing. So they're going to look at this because this over here gives them more satisfaction. This over there gives them more interaction. So if they look at us, we want to have to be really quickly and say, hey, keep looking at us, keep looking at us, keep looking at us. That's very good. And then we can give them a break to look at whatever it is they're looking at. Then they'll say, oh yeah, I remember looking at my person is really good. They look at us again. That's right. It's really good. We're going to keep rewarding, keep rewarding. Once that becomes very reliable, then we can say, yes, this is very good. I'm going to test you. Wait here a couple more seconds and then I can do this. Because this behavior is more reliable, I have more time to give you the treat. I don't have to be really, at the ready. And then over time, you can just give it to them. When they're able to look at you, you can ask for a sit. You can ask for a down. Don't worry about those behaviors right away in the beginning. All you want is a little bit of eye contact, or at least for them to break away from looking at whatever it is they're looking at. If they're looking at something and they just look to the left, they're not looking at you, you can click and reward for that too. Eventually the dog will see the point that, oh, if I actually look at my person, that's actually really good. So try practicing that out with your dog. Try in different environments, from the least distracting to more distractions over time. Keep that high rate of reinforcement. Make sure that your dog can look at you, or at the very minimal, look away from whatever distraction it is that they're reacting to. Make sure to keep them behind threshold. And just, and take your time. Work with your dog. This is really, really fun to do, to train with your dogs and make the slightest bit of progress. By doing this, you make this the normal for the dog. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions or you have any ideas for new videos down in the comments below. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. And until next time, stay positive.